Like I said, I have a two-pronged problem with this law. I understand that we have an immigration problem. I'm going to go over my solution. Now, we went over the liberal and conservative takes on this whole situation. And I have to be honest with you, I think the political fallout is in the favor of Democrats. Again, the Republicans are going off on saying they want legal immigration, they want this and they want that. But when it comes across as anti-minority, anti-woman, anti-gay, anti-Latino, anti-black, that's what you come across as. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's how you come across. And I guarantee you by the time the polls open this November, the Latino vote you have no more. Believe me. And I have issues with all communities in this country. The state of immigration today is a weird one. See, the Southwest, really, the border was moved. If you people don't know history, check it out. The border of Mexico reached all the way to California, all the way up Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas. All this was Mexico. The border was moved, and the people that are stuck in there, they're stuck there. They have to be Americans. And they should be. But what you have is now a large percentage of people that are Latino, or Mexican to be exact, and they have to be represented. And you can't harass and ruffle the feathers of these people. You can't go around, oh, he's Mexican looking. See, that's the problem that I have with law, and we'll break it down in a second. The state of immigration, like I said, the Latino population, the Asian population are the fastest growing. So they figure by 2025, it'll be a minority majority. Which is stupid because the minority isn't the majority anymore. Anyway, the white Americans are afraid. Now, because maybe some of them are racist. I guarantee you they are. A lot of them are racist. But the white population in Arizona and all the Southwest are probably afraid of losing their way of life. They're afraid that everything is going to be Latino. And I'm sorry, but that's what's going down. That was their area. You have to recognize that. Alright? Now I'm going to talk about the law, of course, what I agree with and what I disagree with. I agree that we have a legal immigration problem in the United States of America. I agree with that. I'm in total agreement. I have a different solution, however. But this SB 1070, you want to just pull over people because they look. Do you have to? You know you're going to be asking for papers. You know that. So instead of enacting a law like this, we should use my solution. We'll get to that. But right now, this law is like the fugitive slave law. It's like Jim Crow law. It's the Nazi Gestapo. And I'm going to tell you some experience personally. I have an uncle. His name is Quincy. He lived in Arizona. He said he couldn't find a job. He said that Latino Americans, the Mexicans in the area, were very rude to him because he didn't know Spanish. And it was hard for him to find a job. And I can understand that. You see where the Americans, the Arizonans, who have a problem here. This is a problem. They don't have a job. They don't speak Spanish. This is an English-speaking country. They shouldn't have to learn Spanish. The problem here is, my uncle tells me, they get an attitude because he doesn't speak Spanish. And they won't hire him because of it. So all the people that speak English in this area are fucked. So you understand, liberal side, Latino side, you understand where some of these Arizonans are coming from. My Aunt Diane, whose husband is in the military, and they've been everywhere, from France, Germany. They've been in Texas, they've been in Georgia, they've been in Tennessee, they've been in Louisiana. Is it Louisiana? Yeah, Louisiana. They've been in Kentucky. And she said the most hostile area, the two hostile areas that she's ever been in, has been Germany and it's been Texas. She's been stationed in Texas. She said the Mexicans were completely rude to her. She said in Germany, the Germans were rude to her, and it was a simple thing. Language. The Germans were extremely rude to her because she did not know German. And this is around a United States base. They were rude to her because of that. And she said in Mexico, not in Mexico, in Texas, Same thing applied. They were rude to her because she was not Spanish speaking. Now, over history, you had the Poles, the Germans, the Italians, the Irish, the Eastern Europeans. They've all had to blend in. Again, we're coming from the left now. They've all had to blend in. And the conservative, actually, could be both sides. Over time, the Italians lost their tongue. Some maybe kept them, maybe the OGs, the old schools. The Germans have lost their tongue. The Polish have lost their tongue. The Jewish still keep their tongue, but they speak English, and they mix in pretty good. African Americans never had our tongue. We lost our tongue in the islands before they broke us to become slaves. Basically, what America is asking the Mexican immigrant is learn English, become a United States citizen, melt in. That is the message that I'm getting from the conservative and sometimes in the Central Democrat area. Learn English, become an American citizen. Now, you got your racists on the conservative side that don't want you at all. Period. Now, here's my solution to this whole problem of immigration. Number one, we have to establish law and order. And we don't have law and order now. This is where I kind of break from my Democrat friends. Law and order has to be established. First of all, from 3,000 to 7,000 troops need to be sent to the border. They need to fortify the border. I don't want a big wall put up. That's an environmental issue. You're talking about migrations of many animals, even a small percentage of jaguars. You're talking about coyotes and a lot of animals that would be disrupted by a giant border. A giant wall would destroy a lot of things. I say high technology. We should be putting technology and posts along the border with 7,000 troops. Like I said, we should be creating posts, processing centers to get people legalized. People that are illegal, come out of the shadows, come to these centers, become legal. Amnesty, this is my solution. Amnesty for all non-felon illegal immigrants. They follow certain rules to become citizens. 1, 5 to 7 years to learn basic English language. 5 to 7 years to learn English language. That should be well enough. You don't have to be a professor to teach the English language, but you should be able to go to court and dispute a ticket. Or you should be able to order a goddamn meal in English. You should be able to do an order at your job so that your American partners, your American coworkers can understand you. You should understand English. You should know English. You shouldn't be, oh, I'm speaking Spanish only, and if you don't know Spanish, then you lose a job. That's bullshit. Another point I wanted to put out was my wife, she works with a lot of Latinos, and a lot of Eastern Europeans work there. And the problem that she's having is she doesn't speak Eastern European, and she doesn't speak Latino. She doesn't speak Spanish. So she's having a lot of barriers to go through. English language, as a first language, I'm a proponent of that. I think that all Americans should be able to speak English. You don't have to be able to teach it. You could keep your language. You can speak your way to your homies. Black people do it. We talk the way we want to talk to our homies. When we get to job, it's professional. It's speaking English. Like I said before, the Jews, the Italians, the Germans, the Irish, the Eastern Europeans, Asians, and Africans have all melted into the pot. You have to learn how to speak English, all right? That's the main problem with a lot of Americans. 2, you should be able, you should have to go through whatever process it takes to become a U.S. citizen. You have to get a Social Security card. You got to get ID. You got to become employed. You got to pay taxes. You got to become a productive member of society. That's what a lot of America wants. We also, like I said with Obama, we want to remove incentives to enter the country illegally by preventing employers from hiring undocumented workers and enforcing that law. The conservatives at one time, they want to say, well, we want all illegals out. But at the same time, they want employers to get the most they can out of their labor force. Instead of using a union or paying Americans, they want them to, all right, bring the illegals in. Shh, don't say nothing. We're against illegals. But we want them to come in and pay them low so you can get the insane profits. And don't have to pay the high price of the American worker. See, they want both things at once, and you can't do that.